I'd say the most intense first memory that I have with Whitney is when she guided me through a butterfly walk. And the butterfly walk is designed to, in quick succession, ask you the primary questions in regards to a certain subject matter. And I don't remember exactly what my subject matter was. It might even have been believing in myself or something like that. And in the middle of a group setting with 30 some odd clients in the room, she led me through the butterfly technique. And it's when you lay out the 6 primary questions, which, why, where, who, how, what, which is in my action is firing order, on the ground, and you step from one question to the other. And Whitney would ask questions in regards to the subject matter of believing in myself. So, for example, the first question, if I was standing on the primary question of would be, which actions does believing in yourself remind you of? And I would give a response, and then I would immediately step to another random question. And if I had stepped to why after which, it would be my response to which would be, which actions does believing in myself remind me of? And I would say, doing right things. And then I'd step on why, and she'd say, why is doing right things like that? And I would respond, and so on and so forth, in rapid concession. And this technique is designed to eliminate blocks in your sensory firing order and get alternative information sent up from your subconscious.
And as Janie actually created this technique, it was in regards to her son as he was growing up and had extreme ADHD, and the doctors in the school wanted him to be on Adderall, and she didn't agree with it and didn't put it on it. So she created this technique to help with behavioral problems, and work through some of those blocks and start to have more access to subconscious information and answers and capabilities, and doing it in a fast order, in a random order of the way you process information. It starts to open up and give you more choice and bring things up from your subconscious for conscious access.
Yeah, and when I was being guided through this technique by Whitney, a lot of sensitive information started coming up for me that I've really, at the time, wasn't very comfortable with talking about, about my past family problems, and just it was quite a shock to me how quick it really worked. And it brought up all of these different frailties about me believing in myself that was a shock. And I literally ran out of the room crying.
Well, and as we get programmed, we don't really realize what these programs are, and these events that take place in our life literally create this ripple effect on our timeline and create these reference points and these programs that most of us aren't aware that we're running on, and these belief systems. And as you think about it, it takes 50 core beliefs for an infant to show an attitude and a literal reaction to something. And we're only born with a fear of falling and a fear of loud noises. So that tells you that everything else, you've created these fears and these belief systems in your life, and you're programmed by the time you're 8 years old. And being able to walk through this butterfly technique, it really gives you more information in regards to your belief systems, your programs you're running on, so you can begin to work through them. It brings it up from subconscious to conscious access, and it does it pretty rapidly. And as you're doing it, it can feel like you're stuck in loops and you're feeling stuff you haven't felt in a while, and where is this coming from? And then if you can keep and choose to keep going through it, you really work, and it starts to flip it to a positive, the healing aspects of it.
Yeah. It's great because the unfortunate part about it is the only reason why we're not getting any of this information, in our day-to-day experience, is because we've literally consciously chosen to stop getting information in regards to, believing in myself. Let's just talk about that for a second. You go through all of these experiences in your life that create these programs that she's talking about. When you say something like the only fears that you're born with are two fears, that's all. The fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. So you're mean to tell me that every single fear that I experience on a day-to-day basis, because if we're being vulnerable here, how often do we make fear-based decisions in life, especially in the lifestyle that I've chosen to lead up until a couple of years ago? How often do I make fear-based decisions? And to me, when I read about initially coming in to this treatment center, about the idea that the only two fears that I was born with were the fear of falling and the fear of loud noising, and then considering all of my fears that have been created by me through my environment, my experiences, it's a plethora of fear. And getting to do these techniques like a butterfly walk and getting, alternative information that I've consciously chosen to block from my conscious access, I've stopped allowing that information to come up through my programming. And to be able to do some of these simple techniques and start getting some of that alternative information that's been, hidden down there from my conscious access is quite miraculous.